if you'd like to ask a question during the stream, the question in brackets, that will help. Oh my god, my brain's not with it today. This is a bad choice. Be fine. Be fine. This makes you think of Murder, She Wrote. Now I've got the intro music to Lovejoy in my head. Right. Bam. Hi. I'm BoredGamer. Zin is here in the audio, though she's doing a video. Say hi, Zin.
Hi, Zin.
See? That was a real Zinnia. So you can ask her questions too. She may or may not be able to answer them because she might be busy, or she might not.
You might not know what the answer is.
You can give it a go, though, can't you? Even if you don't. Like Kit
I can pretend, yeah.
Yeah. Like Kit does when she starts at some questions. Right, so to start with, Aldo, you and your org can do what you want in game to an extent, and you say, "I'll continue to kill everyone, no mercy." So I think that's only an issue if you kill people in certain areas repeatedly. From what we'll talk more about this in a bit. From what I can understand from Cloud Imperium's stance on PvP briefing. Where it sort of crosses the line is that if you are repeatedly pad ramming someone, if you are continuously hunting the same person again and again and again and again, while also being sort of like super rude to them in chat and clearly trying to bully them, a specific individual, or you're using exploits, or you're killing people repeatedly by sort of camping a safe zone and they can't respond, and he's going lol, the same person repeatedly, then that would be against their terms of service. However, I want all of that stuff to be covered in-game, with in-game law systems, and you don't ever want CIT really to get involved. You don't want them to go, this is a terms of service violation, you've got a warning. You don't want that to happen. You want it so that the game sorts that stuff out without giving people warnings. You just go, well, if you're going to attack someone just outside the safe zone in a relatively safe system, well, you're going to be paying for their ship damage, and it doesn't matter if you blow them up, they're not going to really have any bad stuff happen to them other than respawn at hospital and have to grab their ship again. That's the way I'd do it, anyway. Zin has got her new chair. Zin, take pictures of your chair. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it on stream at some point. So a lot of people donated money towards Zin's chair. Her very expensive. What did you go for? A Leap version 2 Herman Miller thing? No,
it's a steel case Leap V2.
Sorry, I only thought it was Herman Miller because of the price. Is it because of the expensive? Shut up.
It wasn't as expensive as the original chair I wanted.
No, that was £1,000.
Yeah. But this one comes with lumbar support, whereas the Embody didn't have like a dedicated lumbar support, so
they were both good chairs. Hopefully you'll like this one.
It's a nice chair.
There was a worry that you hadn't sat in it before I bought it for you. I say I bought it for you. I put about half the money in. The rest was done by some of you lovely people, so I appreciate it. Ulfgrimr, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. You star, you've become a bored citizen. Mwah. I don't know why you get a little kiss, but you do. So I would also say that there is legitimate PvP in the game. So when I was talking earlier about PvP and stuff, there is legitimate PvP. Obviously, I want PvP and more systems to be supported by PvP, but I want that. The game needs to support it on lots more levels and have reasons to do it, and have physicalized components, and be able to have piracy, and be able to have sort of raids and boarding, and also streamers that get attacked repeatedly, or people that get attacked repeatedly. So I can only really talk from a streamer's point of view here, although I don't really get, because I don't stream live much, and when I do, it's on potentially a second account. I don't really get much trouble with stream sniping or anything like that. If I was getting stream sniped, and I probably will have an account where I welcome people trying to find me and fight me, I'll hire a load of bodyguards. I'll do VIP stuff. I'll go, anyone in chat's more than welcome to come and kill me that's not part of my bodyguard retinue. So there's someone saying, signing up for a bodyguard. And then, I don't know, I'll give prizes maybe to the winning side. Or something. Or maybe just have it as a thing that we do as we play. More than welcome to come. Here I am. I'm broadcasting where I am. Come and murder me. And I've got a load of bodyguards. It's interesting gameplay, right? I'm looking forward to trying out Elite Dangerous Odyssey. I did get given an alpha key for that. So I'll give that a play. I don't think Elite Dangerous is bad. I think it's a different game. It's a lot shallower than Star Citizen is planning to be. But it's obviously a lot more polished and actually has finished gameplay loops. So it's much... it's obviously similar in the sort of way you describe the games, but Star Citizen is significantly more in-depth with a lot more going on there. But that's good and bad. I mean, there's definitely space for both of them. I suspect a lot of people will play both. How long can I hold my breath? About that length of time? Probably go another 10 seconds longer than that, but be very uncomfortable. How long was that? However long that was. No, it's not silence. I was holding my breath. That was a thing. That was a thing. Oh. When do you think they will start focusing more on trade missions? That's a good question. There's a load of cargo-based gameplay and stuff getting set up for cargo. The local personal inventory system stuff. The cargo decks are obviously sold out for it. Ship-to-station docking. There's more cargo missions in... Yeah, there's more cargo missions in 3.13. I had to make sure that wasn't an Evocati thing. There's more cargo missions in 3.13. There's obviously going to be a bit of a rebalance with the economy and stuff as well pretty soon, probably. They probably do it from patch to patch. So they're literally doing it now, and you'll see more and more cargo-focused missions as time goes on in the short term as well. So. If you'd like to ask a question in brackets during the live stream. The main topics I'd like to cover probably are 3.13 stuff. Obviously, we're still waiting on 3.13 at the moment. It's in Evocati still. We're waiting for it to go to first wave PTU. We were expecting it last week, but and early this week, but obviously that hasn't materialised yet. CIG have said that they're planning to get it done sort of within a week. They said that on Monday, so hopefully by the end of the week they'll have a first wave PTU. Obviously blockers and other bits can cause delays with these patches, even when they have targeted goals. What do you think we'll get in terms of new information on repair and refuel on Friday? So there is a Call All Devs where they do their pre-recorded episode where they focus on some subjects. So we know that they'll probably talk about repair and the fact that you can move subcomponents around, take out a component and replace a component relatively soon. Obviously, there's the salvage and repair tool, which they've got planned for later this year. That's going to allow you to repair some bits of ships and also strip the hulls of ships. Refuel, we know that both repair and refuel mechanics are in active development now. We know that as well. So they're going to be able to talk about what they've been working on. Refuel-wise, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Like, I think they wanted a nozzle from the Starfarer. Obviously, they need the ability for it to pick up fuel and store fuel, things like that. So, when do you think we'll be able to put water and food into crates and take them back out? So they are working on the physicalized sort of inventory systems, and they are expanding out the player status system and food and all that sort of stuff at the moment. I don't know when we're actually going to be able to have physicalized specific items like that we can put into crates and the sort of and buy them and the cargo grids detect them and we can actually physically take them back out, but they are working on the systems towards that now. Board, did you tour CIG? You did a tour of CIG's offices, right? Yes. I don't want the details of your tour, but are there things you saw that still haven't been added to the game? Yes. I've been on 3 or 4 tours total, and there's still some stuff that they showed in game, and there's obviously Squadron 42 stuff that I saw as well. There's some Persistent Universe stuff that's still not in game. Not sure if it's been canned or put in later, or has been merged into something else. There's still some bits that I haven't seen. I'm looking forward to doing another tour, hopefully later this year. I will contact CIG again about that. How am I doing today? I'm doing alright. Do you think we'll ever get an 800i? I think they'll expand out the range of ships to have lots more different types of ships. I don't think we'll specifically get an 800i because we've got the 890 jump, which is sort of giant yacht. But we might get other Origin numbered 100s series ships. Obviously, we're thinking we're going to get the 400i, or at least I am, at some point that was leaked a while ago. Do you think we will get any news on the Crucible or Vulcan? Crucible or Vulcan, I'm assuming you mean. Last official news was years ago. So the Crucible, that's a repair ship. They're talking about repair on Friday. Hopefully they'll talk a bit about that. So, from what I can tell, a lot of what the Crucible was going to do with the external ship stuff sounds like hull stripping, but the salvage repair tool hull stripping, sort of re-repairing the outer hull. I mean, it might be actually rebuilding blocks and parts of ships as well. We'll have to see exactly what they've got planned for that, but I'm looking forward to it. Crucible might also be able to remove larger components and replace them, so it might be an outfitting ship as well, is what I was thinking. That salvage, the Vulcan, so that's a repair, rearm, and refuel drone ship. Yeah, hopefully they'll talk a bit about that as well, and how drone repair could be in game. Obviously, they can probably do drone repair pretty easily because it could just have the same sort of tools as something else just flying around. Yeah. Looking forward to the Vulture as well for salvage. What have we got? Is there any idea when we can expect some better performance? So hopefully from patch to patch they get stuff a little bit more optimized. Obviously if you go back a couple of years ago, the performance in the game was terrible, and now it's 1 billion times better, but it's still not great. And it's a mixture of server performance, server degradation, and client performance because of a lack of optimization on all of that. Now, they are working on the Vulcan renderer, the Gen 12 renderer stuff, which should add significantly to the amount of frames you get and to sort of general performance for all systems. It will make you use more CPU threads more appropriately rather than just focusing on a few, and use your computer resources significantly more efficiently. You are going to start to see, and you should sort of start seeing features with server streaming, with iCache, with the Gen 12 render and Vulcan support in mind. So optimizations are sort of going in the game now, just little by little, and once the rest of it goes in, you should notice a big improvement once they're all done, as far as I'm aware, and probably graphics options as well that work. And what I mean by that is that at the moment, if you set it a high, medium, or low, at the moment it doesn't really change much when it comes to performance. And it does affect the amount of sort of graphics, VRAM and stuff that you're using, admittedly. Got any particular chair beside them that you got? I'll patiently wait for Star Citizen to be built slowly rather than play teleport games like ED. Yeah, but some people want just want the game out, and some people like the way that Elite Dangerous is styled. It's focusing on certain types of gameplay, and Star Citizen wants to focus more on the sort of like universe simulation, and even the time it takes for you to travel is important. Do you see what I mean? And a shallower game isn't necessarily bad because it's shallower. It's focused on certain types of gameplay, and also is able to be released as a full product and then add expansions onto it, whereas Star Citizen is still very much alpha, and even its sort of like major releases each quarter is still alpha. Do you know what I mean? It's not a finished, polished game by any means. What happens if server meshing fails? Server meshing probably won't fail, but it might not be as great as they need it to be or whatever. They'll scale it to whatever they can scale it to, have artificial things to restrict players in certain areas, and do the next best thing they can. So they will iteratively work on server meshing to get the thing they want. My face keeps on going out of focus, and that's because I have not done this. Bear with me. You don't want my beautiful face to be on focus, do you? There we go. There we go, perfect. What have we got? So yeah, it's a genuinely good question though, and something that we need to think about is server meshing. Is it going to be able to allow everyone to be in the same server or not? Is there going to be lag and latency issues from people that are in half the world away as well? Do they need specific service for those people, or can they come up with some sort of system where everyone can be in the same game? It's likely that there will be upper limits to it, and how do they then get it working the way they want? Yeah, so it won't be 1,000 people per game, so server meshing should at least allow for a huge amount of people in a single star system, even if it does have quite stringent restrictions. But we'll have to wait and see. It's certainly a what if server meshing is not even nearly as good as they say. What if it's 100 times smaller? So you can't have everyone, but you can have 1,000 or 10,000 people per star system. Well, they can probably have it so it's 1,000 people per planet or something, because they sort of shot themselves in the foot by not wanting loading screens, didn't they? So when I say shot themselves in the foot, people want that immersion. So it's cool what they do. It's how necessary is the sort of instantaneously streaming it. I suppose it's core of the game now, isn't it? Would I want the game out now in a very developed state if we didn't have that? So that's an interesting one. Yeah, and if server meshing fails completely, they'll try something else. Got the Secret Labs Omega Batman edition. I saw someone else get that chair. Poseidon, you're not an internet sort of guru, are you? You're not like give one-liners to success. You're not that type of person, are you? Out of curiosity. So it's a really random chair. And so I saw someone actually have that chair. It's like the way to serenity is to follow your own heart, but also consider others. It will be something like that. It's not the sort of thing you subscribe to out of curiosity. Do we know if exploration is being worked on? Yes, obviously they're building out points of interest. They're updating the star map, building an updated star map. They're working on gameplay area. That's all part of exploration. There's science and exploration gameplay is being thought out to some extent, but also scanning down points of interest. That's all sort of being worked on, or at least a step towards that. Exploration ships. Obviously we've got the Carrack and some other bits in the game like 315p and the Aquila and stuff like that. However, proper exploration gameplay will not be out for a while until they have all the scanners and sensor stuff fully developed, and they... Oh, I've got the birthday fund still up. And then they start developing that gameplay loop more specifically. And let me change. Zin, what do we want to? What do we want donations to go into at the moment? Is there anything important we need? Nothing specific is there at the moment?
I don't know. I think so.
So you don't need a birthday fund, I'll tell you that. Now that the birthday's over.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that.
You got a birthday chair. You got a birthday chair.
I didn't. What? No.
You did got a birthday.
This isn't my chair. This is the company's chair.
Oh, that is also true. This is the company money, mate. Oh, I did say I'd get you something with the birthday money. Oh, okay. We'll sort something out. I'll ask the chat. We'll get you something nice.
I don't know what you want to put donations towards.
Yeah, neither do I. So, thing with donations is that I put a donation goal up just so people know where donations are going to, because people donate whatever, but I like people to go, that's where my money's going if I donate. So typically it's hardware and stuff. We're still waiting on graphics cards at the moment and CPUs and stuff. We're going to need new ones by the time we actually get ours, because what's going to happen is I don't know whether I'm getting you a new, so I'm not sure whether you're getting my 3950X for my CPU, or if I'm getting you a 5900 or something. It's hard for me to tell the difference between the two because I don't have mine yet. Also, maybe we should... Yeah. Same. So maybe we just don't have a donations for... Maybe it should be for me getting hair. I think I get a lot of money for that. No, oh my god.
Just one?
Just the one hair. No, we don't need a goal today. It's fine. Give us any money today. It's just going on into something. Work it out later.
Beer fund.
Oh my god, beer fund.
You're not allowed beer.
No, I'm on keto. I'm not allowed beer. That is true. What we got? I know it's likely never to happen, but if CIG were to do a collaboration with any space gamer show, what ship would you pick to cameo in Star Citizen? Oh, the Pillar of Autumn. I like that. The Voyager, probably. Something like that. Enterprise or Voyager. If it has to be a game that's... maybe that's not Star Trek or Star Wars. I don't know. And all the things I were like Babylon 5 White Star, shadow ships from that. The Orville's a good one. What do you see as the true end game of Star Citizen? So, I'll start this before reading the rest of your question. I don't see a proper end game for Star Citizen beyond sort of everything being a potentially end game. So it depends on what sort of thing you're focusing on, but the real end game would be large-scale org domination and battles, where it's all part of your manufacture, your base building, and all of the other gameplay loops coming together to allow you to fight and take over territory, to hold that territory, to exploit it for missions, for resources, whatever, and sort of have a back and forth there. There might be some very large scale sort of raids and events like the Xenothreat stuff as well. Andrew Higginbottom, it's money! Just bloody have it! Thank you very much. I appreciate the money. Thanks. Star. Every time I ask the community, I always get whatever you want it to be answer. But ultimately, there has to be a goal, right? Well, no, it doesn't. Like, what's the goal in EVE? What's the goal in Elite Dangerous? It's to accrue money, be able to play the game, be able to do more, have these sort of emergent gameplay stories. You sort of will set your own goals, but there's certainly a higher level play once you get established and once you're in a big org that's doing pretty well. There's alliances, there's big org and corp battles. That's the way I see it. That's an interesting one as well, because EVE allows its huge scale battles that the only way they exist is through time dilation, so it slows it down when there's more ships in a particular area. So obviously Star Citizen is not doing that. But there's obviously going to be hard limits on the amount of ships and players that can be in an area, but we don't know what that's going to be. And we don't know how good server meshing is going to be, because it might just go, well, we can actually stitch as many servers as we want together, or at least hundreds together, and that means we can actually have hundreds of ships in an area, because each of them can be their own server. Why are both... That's right. So end of May, we've got the next giant sale, which will be a Fleet Week sale. Typically more focused on combat ships and combat support ships, but not entirely. Expect to see some new ships there as well, entirely new ones. Elite Dangerous has disappointed you. Okay, that's fine. I haven't played enough Elite Dangerous. And I'm planning to play on Odyssey. I think Odyssey is probably going to be pretty good. Do you think the Constellation should have better shields than size 2 mediums? Stuff like that will get balanced in the future. And obviously there are different grades of size 2s as well. Will the Reclaimer be on sale during Invictus, during Fleet Week at the end of May? I would expect it to. I think that's a support ship, in my opinion. or at least support enough, or makes use of combat. Because after combat's happened, it goes and noms all the combat ships up. Give me the Mercury Star on a second entrance. So we do know that they're planning to give it like a ladder hatch or some form of little mini exit entrance thing. I'd be okay just with another exit. There was a little hatch that opened up that I could only get out of. If I kill you in PvP, will I get banned? As long as you're not shouting racial epithets at the same time, no. Why would you? Look, it's important that... me and Zin had talked about this, and you'll see a video later today. Stream sniping, as long as it doesn't cross over into targeted harassment, constantly preventing you from playing the game, constantly pad ramming you, camping you from outside things. Stream sniping information will be used against you, just in every game, and you can't. It's not a legitimate reason to ban someone. It's just stream sniping, okay? In my opinion. That said, I have not been actively harassed by stream snipers, so take that into account as well. There needs to be a load of systems in place to make PvP relevant, to guide it, and to curb the behaviour of people that would go, well, this is PvP, when it's clearly just sort of like them going bullying and going, get good scrub, and all that sort of stuff. So, I remember in EVE, like, you'd have some people that take you out, and they'd GG you afterwards, and then you could actually talk to them about sort of them fighting you and everything, and they'd explain what they were doing and why, and it was, well, obviously some people just out there to ruin your day, but... will we get more profitable smuggling missions for the Mercury Star Runner? Yes, in the future. There will be a profit, a risk and reward to smuggling. Does the C2 have a captain's quarters? I don't know. I would expect it to. Hercules C2. I think it does. But I'm not sure. Don't know. Don't know for sure. I have not seen its full interior plans. I would expect it to have a little captain's quarters, personally. So we haven't got Inside Star Citizen this week. It comes back on, I believe, the 22nd of April. When players use software exploits where you call someone in-game and even if they don't answer, they get a marker for you and then they pursue you no matter where you go, isn't that griefing? If they are using an exploit to actively harass you, so actively find you in the verse and just constantly kill you for no reason other than to stop you from playing the game, that could, I think, cross over into griefing or targeted harassment. It depends on a lot of reasons. Like, if I am just looking for someone for some reason and use that, is that an exploit? Yes, potentially. What they need to do is obviously fix that exploit. Have the ability for you to turn your comms off entirely. When do you think the Starfarer will be redone? I don't think it will be redone. I think it will obviously get its get a few little tweaks, and it will get the ability to either gas harvest or salvage siphon. It depends on what Cloud Imperium classify those mechanics as. Is it a salvage siphoner, which is also gas mining, or is siphoning just gas mining, or are they two separate things? And I think it will get those mechanics, but it won't be entirely redone. Not getting a rework, getting its abilities and a few little tweaks. Do you think we'll get any Star Citizen VR news in 2021? Yeah, probably a little bit. They'll talk about it once they got Vulkan integration in a little bit. Don't expect a lot of news on it. Do you think we'll get other capital ships? Yes. I think they'll see some alien capital ships. I think we'll see some more human capital ships. Do you think CIG is holding back the release of the 400i because it was leaked by Star Citizen Leaks? I don't think that would affect their plans much. I think that we will see the 400i at some point. Do I think it's going to be exactly what was shown on Star Citizen Leaks? Probably not exactly, but it could be quite similar. But I do think we are going to be getting a 400i at some point, yes. Hello, I'm back to the game years ago. Is it playable now? Yes, the game is playable now. It is in alpha, though, so your mileage may vary. It is very much still in the stage of you giving your feedback. It helps influence and shape the game, and it is something that you can check out, play, mess around in, and your feedback is not just welcomed, but encouraged. Think the Vandal ship upgrades are coming this year? Yes, I do. I think they will update the Scythe and Glaive to be the new ones this year. I also think they're probably doing some work on Vandal Swarm for this year, so don't quote me on that, because that's just what I reckon. Hey, aboard and to use in. Several unarmed ships. Unnamed? Several unannounced ships in the pipeline. Thoughts on the Vulture coming soon? So it's very possible that the Vulture could come soon. Obviously, they're getting Salvage Tier 0 in this year. That's the plans. And it looks like it's going to be hull stripping. And the Vulture does hull stripping. We knew that they wanted the Vulture in last year. So I think it's very possible. Do you know if exploration is being worked on, or is it more in planning phase? So there are steps going towards exploration now with enhanced scanning, new scanning mechanics, new points of interest being put in, the procedural nature of certain elements of like the quanta system and salvage and wrecks and all that sort of stuff. So there's definitely work going towards that. The actual exploration gameplay loop is probably being planned out, but then probably not actively working on specific parts of exploration gameplay beyond missions. And little Easter eggs, and just generally sort of playing the game and exploring at your own pace. Why are both the 600 variants called 600 and not the 600 and 615? Well, they're not. Is it because they're technically modular? I'm not sure if there's necessarily a hard line at the moment between what makes a ship get a named variant versus just being called the same thing. With Elite Dangerous Odyssey Alpha being released, do you think there'll be a file it under RSI's arse to get running faster for a beta release? No. I think that same with No Man's Sky, same with Elite Dangerous, same with a billion other things. It gives them ideas, and CIG will very much do a it's done when it's done approach. It works for them. When do you think FPS missions will get better and more different missions? From patch to patch, but I mean you're going to get new FPS missions in caves, so proper combat missions in caves this time. They need to work on that AI. They need to work on lots of server optimization and janky character stuff, and then we'll get more and more and more. Obviously, we're getting spawn lockers as well, so that allows them to do more FPS stuff too. So within the next few quarters, I expect to have some much better FPS missions. Can we expect more capital ships or variants? We talked about that. Yeah, I'd expect to see more capital ships. Is the Rock DS real or an April Fool's joke? So slight spoiler or leak. Star Citizen Leaks have talked about a Rock DS, sort of put it everywhere. We don't know if that's real or not. Could be an April Fool's joke. Could be a thing. I mean, a larger rock for mining sort of makes sense. Another mining ground vehicle. I've talked about this before. But always take leaks with a pinch of salt. I mean, the 400i hasn't materialized yet. Do you know if quantum travel will ever be more dynamic so that I have control in flight? There's going to be stuff happening during quantum travel in the future, like distress signals, you getting interdicted, intercepted, components degrading, you need to do repairs, stuff like that. Has CIG considered using a grouping reputation system to solve PvP issues? If you play like Jackass for multiple sessions, you're only allowed to join servers with similar players. Oh, I see what you mean, Ashman. I think that you'll very quickly notice that there's PvP in safe systems and sort of extreme criminal behaviour in certain areas will restrict your gameplay quite a lot in the future to the more outlaw systems, and there will be some pretty hefty... there'll be a lot of bad points if you ever get caught, and you probably will at some point, and lots of people coming after you and stuff. So I think the in-game systems can solve it. I prefer not to put PvPers on a separate server. Any idea when we'll see the ability to navigate ground vehicles on the surface? We know that they're working on navigation, coordinate systems, sharing locational data, and all that sort of stuff, but we don't know when that's going to be in. Any idea when we'll be able to bring a cup of coffee down to a planet floor and you can come back, let's say, a month later and it'll still be there? Like, even when we have server meshing and full persistence, we don't know if that will be the case. We don't know what object importance of cleanup will be. But for true persistence and being able to hide a cache of weapons somewhere in it for it to be there for other players if they see it or whatever, and for it to be there a month later for you, that is what they are building towards now. It's obviously going to allow you to have bases and all that sort of jazz as well. Has there been any official news about the new star map? If not, why not? Probably because they're saving it to give us some more information about it later, potentially at CitizenCon this year, assuming that we have one, even if it's just a virtual event, same as the new quantum system, or Quanta system, for the universe simulation. But I believe that Turbulent are working on the new star map, along with additional gameplay area. I'm assuming you're a Star Trek fan. Yeah, much more of a Star Trek fan than I am a Star Wars fan. And I would like to know if they do another series following the proper timeline. What ship would you like to see? Oh, I don't know. I'm fine with them doing stuff like Lost in another... I'm fine with them doing something like Voyager again. I'm fine with them doing... I quite enjoyed Picard. I know it wasn't the best thing in the world. I sort of quite enjoyed it, though. I love Patrick Stewart. I think it was what it is. Was not a fan of whatever the current Star Trek series thing is that they've got going on. Is not a fan of that one. It's a bit weird. Discovery. We see a lot of features and locations ready in Squadron 42 videos, like the one in the background. What's stopping it from being a Star Citizen? Well, connections to the actual star systems. I mean, this isn't the Odin system. We think they are building their way to the Odin system, so it makes sense because we can see on the roadmap they've got Pyro and Nyx planned, and that builds towards the Odin system. Morning board, next buyback token around 4th of April. That's what it said on the thing, yeah? Literally bullshit that they warned PvP players. So, okay. So, the warnings, from what I can discern, yeah, they weren't warning all PvP players. They were only a very small amount of people actually got warnings. And only 3 people actually got suspensions. And it was for... so the wording of their email was terrible and didn't really explain anything. So they said for excessive player killing / griefing. So a lot of people just assumed, are we not allowed to player kill in the game? What's excessive? This isn't really explained. And Cloud Imperium, if they ban or warn you, in my opinion, they should give you full details of what you've done. Yeah? They should give you, so you can dispute it if you wanted to. Go, no, that is literally untrue. So they need to give you full details so that you can't dispute it, basically, because it's accurate. What Cloud Imperium had said is that the people that they had warned or they had given a suspension to had been proven to be griefing or targeted harassment of players. So it wasn't just a streamer getting attacked a few times by an org or a player. It would have been a lot more than that. So do I want players to be warned for PvPing? No. Do I want players to be warned for griefing? Yes, when it is clearly griefing. Not sort of like, oh, is it borderline, or what's griefing, what's not. It has to be obviously and clearly griefing. And Cloud Imperium need to have a line which is clear and concise about what that gameplay is. And it should be okay for people to toe that line on the edge of it constantly, because they're still not pushing beyond that line. Yeah? Odin is the system here. That's the one of the main, if not the main, gameplay area for Squadron 42. But it will be in the persistent universe at some point. Why does the Mercury Star Runner not have an armor rack? Well, you might see it get some a little bit more storage space in the future. Especially in like little living quarters. Just use the wardrobes or whatever there. There's storage there. Will the Cutlass series get a ladder for the side doors? Do you know? Aren't they supposed to be more docking collar based? So probably not. When are the aimbots and wallhacks going to pop up? So I've seen them actually before a while ago in StarEngine. I saw people actually selling them. Every game will have cheating to some extent. If CIG's logging is enough, then they can track it, trace it, and permanently ban anyone that does it. Just make it really sort of like, you were cheating, permabanned. Permabanned, ID banned, your account's gone. Does the A2 and C2 have different amounts of weapons available to the pilot, if any at all? I don't know what pilot seat weapons the ship has. I think it has 2 size 4s for the pilot. I think. The thing is that could change before its release as well, so... do you think it's possible that the Star Citizen universe will be split E-style to high, low, and null? Well, sort of. So, I mean, the different systems are going to have different security levels. Pyro is pretty close to 0 security, and the standard system is a moderate level of security. But Earth and Terra, they should be top-tier security. When dropping onions, do you reckon goggles will get the missus to do it? Well, so you can just put your tongue out, or stop crying, like a little biatch. Have you thought about that? Just what cutting onions less cryy like? If so, bored. Do you think? Oh, where have you previously said something? If you're so bored, do you think about changing game at times? What? My name wouldn't change, would it? I play loads of games. I stream more than just Star Citizen, although not very often, admittedly. And I've been playing Eco recently. Apex Legends Eco. I'm just about to move on to Journey to the Savage Planet. I think we're playing Eco in May with Salty Mike. We've got Valheim that we want to play. Has CIG mentioned anything about getting a higher crime stat for attacking medical vessels as more to come in game? No, it hasn't. So, I mean, that might be a thing. So what's going to happen is that you are going to have, obviously, the reputation system is going to probably expand out to track even more stuff. So if you're taking out medical vessels or people that are on medical missions, whatever, you're going to start to get lots of negatives with lots of different orcs. So that's one of the things that I think that the reputation system is going to be great for, is for PvP or criminal gameplay and for curbing people's behaviours. Especially when you go, well, you've done some PvP around a safe zone, pad rams, and done some other stuff and hunted some players. You're not going to be able to use any of these stations other than Grimhex for 2 weeks. Yeah, have you thought about not crying when you cut onions? Have you thought about that? What's the best beginner ship? So, Elfwin, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated, sir. So, it depends on what price range you're talking about. If you're just going for a starter package base ship, obviously you've got the Aurora MR or the Mustang Alpha as your cheapest options. I prefer the Mustang Alpha because it's worth $5 more. But I'd say the best ship to start the game in would probably be the Avenger Titan. I love the Avenger Titan. I think it's a great ship. It's got a bit of cargo space. It's relatively good at combat. You could grind bounty missions with it. You could do a little bit of everything. Will 3.13 fix non-mission trading and hauling, or will haulers have to wait even longer? Hopefully that will be solved in 3.13, and it will get a little bit of a economy rejig as well. I think it's safe to say that should have been a focus, and they needed to get that fixed. So,
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Thank you very much, Elf Wizard of Chaos. A new face, a new name. Very much appreciated. I appreciate the hustle. Are you star? Thanks for the sub. What's the best beginner ship for PvP? Should have read your full question. I used to love the Arrow before it got a bit nerfed. Well, that was a great ship. It's still probably pretty good. It changes from patch to patch. That's the problem. Because the meta keeps on massively switching. So I don't know at the moment. I'd have to ask and talk to Moist Noodle about it for a while. As a starter combat ship, the Gladius and the Arrow are always pretty good. Or I think at least they'd be balanced to be pretty good. Long time stalker, I thought I'd do something about lurking. Appreciated, Elf Wizard of Chaos. Are you star? I have way too many ships and I need to sell some. Nice. You can always gift some. Give some to me. I always accept your ships. Hello, Board. Keep up the great work. Board and Zin. Ah, okay. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're looking April Fools in a couple of days. Could we see something interesting from CIG? Yes, we certainly could. They will do some sort of dumb April Fool's thing. Probably a fake ship or vehicle this time. When do you think they'll implement a proper tutorial? So they previously had a proper tutorial for flight with Gilly. I think that they'll wait until the game is in more of a stable place and the flight model's been fully locked down. And then you'll also start to see individual tutorials or starter missions for each of the gameplay loops. We don't know when the Crucible is going to be launched, but I am expecting them to start talking about the Crucible more on Friday's Calling All Devs. Did you see the movie Space Truckers? Yes, I did, with the electric furnace. There's motorized. Game of the law system cannot allow a full free player killing environment. Well, it sort of can, and then the law system reins all that sort of behavior back in. Like if you kill people in those secure systems, it's going to be almost impossible for you to exist in those secure systems because you'll be shot at the gates as you're coming in and out. You'll have people after you all the time. You're not going to be able to get anywhere near stations. You're almost very unlikely to be able to get into the star system, or at least certain star systems. Do I worry about hacks and aimbots and stuff in the future? Yeah, to an extent, but I think that, as I said, as long as CIG have great logging, they'll be able to permaban anyone that cheats. See, Ado, I think you're well within your rights to do a bit of PvP and to engage people and go and fight them in certain areas, and do even pirate roleplay or whatever, as long as you're not literally camping people spawning at safe zones and shooting them like on the edge of it, pad ramming them, harassing a single player that's just trying to go in the prospector, and if he moves servers, you don't chase him to a different server, things like that. Did you try the new Space Legs Taxi Simulator? What? What? Where are they on improving NPC and animal AI? You should see some missions that make use of the most up-to-date AI in Threadbit 13. Obviously, got the new cave missions. We've got spawn lockers. I hope that they've got improved their AI a little bit for pathfinding and they're not derpy as hell. Obviously, yeah, very important, very critical. They are working on it. They've got people actively working on animals as well, getting them in game. Zin, what's your favourite gameplay loop in Star Citizen at the moment? Like, what would you say is the most fun to do?
Is there a gameplay loop in Star Citizen at the moment?
No, but seriously.
I don't know. I enjoy pew-pewing of the NPCs, like in ships.
So, combat and bounty hunting?
Bounty hunting's, yeah, pretty good fun.
I suppose, since 3.13 is out, I think that we should do a load of the cave assault missions. I think that might be quite good to do FPS, because we haven't done much FPS gameplay together. Because the AI are pretty jank. Do you wish Respawn would have made Titanfall 3 instead? Yes. Give me Titanfall 3.
I prefer Apex as a multiplayer game, but Titanfall 2 as a single-player game was just fucking phenomenal.
Yes, it was. And even the characters. Even BT is one of the best characters. Top-tier robot. And he's a very good boy. I mean, I liked Titanfall and Titanfall 2's multiplayer. Like, obviously Titanfall was multiplayer, single-player crossed over.
Even though there's loads of different game modes in Titanfall, I don't think I can keep up playing it as much as I can Apex.
Yeah.
I can play Apex for days.
Apex is genuinely good, and as long as I'm in a good mood, I enjoy it. If I'm in a bad mood, in the same way that people were saying that Star Citizen streamers were saying anyone that killed them was a stream sniper or whatever, I will accuse everyone in Apex that beats me if I'm in a bad mood of cheating, teaming, hacking, doing something. But I do realise that I'm being mad. So I see cheating everywhere. Why don't you cover stuff on... Oh, sorry, I'll stop wishing to talk for you unless it's relevant to use. Why don't you cover stuff from Star Citizen leaks? I do. I don't cover any of the Evocati leaks, though, or anything that's stolen from an Evocati patch or data mined from an Evocati patch. I just don't constantly talk about all the stuff that Star Citizen leaks talks about because they're not always 100% on the mark or the ball. And some of that stuff is sort of like that they talk about is stuff that's sent to content creators or Evocati or other members in confidence, and sort of feels a bit shitty to talk about it. Where are they? We talked about that. RSI Mantis, is it worth a buy? Not at the moment, but once we have proper physicalized components and a proper personal inventory system / local inventory system where we can loot stuff more regularly, yes, because you'll be able to use it to tie down people and then effectively loot their ships, steal their ships, all that sort of stuff. And obviously, if you're a bounty hunter now, you can probably potentially get away with using one if you're very clever, but they're quite hard to use at the moment. How long should you be able to hold your breath for underwater? Why would you be swimming around in spaceport without a helmet on? Just put a helmet on. I don't know. You probably start suffocating pretty quickly, though. That wouldn't be my main concern, suffocation in random space water. I suppose it would be as well. Right. Can we get Hull E stuck sideways in jump point gates? Nice. The Ever Given. Nice Suez Canal reference. Right. Oh, BRB, I just need to bio. Hello. Oh. Let's again. With the hyper-focus on griefing PvP, what is to stop an org who is legit with a war with another org from filing complaints to CIG if they're losing said war? Well, I mean, the context of them being in an org war and getting attacked by those players. So logs. I mean, if you give someone a warning or a suspension or whatever, you need to be 100% sure that they've done that behaviour. Not an I reckon, not a lots of people have reported them, so they must have done it. There needs to be a log of it. There needs to be without a doubt. Yeah? Do. Since the updates to the roadmap, it seems like there are less content in the announcements they give. Is there a lull period or something else? I mean, last week's roadmap update was just the Cyclone MT has been put in. It's because they're just about to release 3.13. That's why. So it is basically a lull because of that. Are they adding various ways to assassinate, like poisoning food? Well, they haven't talked much about poisoning. Why would PvPers get in trouble for attacking another player? What is griefing and star citizen? Kind of curious. Well, it needs to be quite clear. It needs to be exploiting stuff or actively targeting someone to prevent them from playing the game or to harass them, not for any legitimate gameplay purposes at all. When will we see the TV in the G-Lock bar and around the verse in game? I want to be on that TV. Yeah, we'll probably see. I mean, they've got new sounds and stuff like that in game. We'll probably see the render-to-texture tech used for streaming that sort of stuff in the future. Have you seen or tried the alpha of Elite Dangerous Odyssey? Yes, I've seen it. I have not played it yet. I have it. How would you rate the experience to Star Citizen? A lot shallower from what I've seen, but obviously a lot more complete at the same time. Still not a reason for me to actively play Elite Dangerous loads, probably, but I'll try it out and see what I think. Hey BG, do you know if the new asteroids are applied to all of Stanton? I believe they'll be phasing it in to some of them and then more of them. That would be my expectation of the new asteroids. So probably you'll start to see the new asteroids turn up and then they'll deal with the asteroids that are sort of already in game in locations. Because otherwise they'd have to redrop some of the points of interest like Bennyhenge and things like that and Grimhex. Do you know what I mean? When sitting in a ship's turret, you get thrown out of the ship when entering Quantum. That's not always, but sometimes yes. Is it a known bug? Yes, it is. Should be getting fixed soon. Well, I hope it would. Is this game going to be doing scanning life forms like No Man's Sky? We do know that you're going to be able to scan ships for life forms and names and stuff. It sort of can do that already, kind of. But also the medical tools are very much going to be able to scan a humans, in this case, sort of medical stats and things like that. So I would expect that to expand out probably into science and exploration gameplay. How do you think the taser and subsequently the capturing of unconscious people will work? We can sort of drag people now. You'll be knocking them out and picking them up or dragging them. And they've also said, like, the sort of rough ideas for how you deal with an unconscious player is once you've gone down and you're unconscious for a length of time, you can choose to instant respawn if you want in prison or whatever. But that person still has your now NPC body, I suppose. Or you can wait. How do you think FPS scanning will work? Will it just be wall hacks or more in depth? So FPS radar and scanning, some of it's going to be audio based, and I don't think you'll have proper wall hacks or anything. Have you got bored? What's for dinner? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing for dinner today. Maybe a steak. I'm on keto, so we can have medium amounts of protein and lots of fat. So meat, high-fat meat, nuts, pretty low carbs, incredibly low sugar. So I quite like broccoli. Next system will probably be Odin when Squadron 42 races. So it's my expectation that it will be Pyro's next system, then Nyx, and then Odin. Why is the talent so weak from top to bottom? It hasn't really been balanced properly yet. It needs sort of stronger front shields Well, it needs the shield hardening and the sort of like focused phalanx shields working properly. So it should be like it's supposed to be like a dive fighter, dive bomber type ship, sort of in and out, hit and run. So it doesn't want to dogfight. It doesn't want to brawl. But it does need tweaks, for sure. We haven't started playing Outriders. Zin will. I thought it was okay. It was like the Division. Plays like the Division. See what Zin thinks of it. You think we'll see another system this year or two? I think we'll see them being developed. I think we'll see the next system and more of Pyro and potentially more systems developed. But we won't see them in game until next year. How's the keto diet going for you? I think all right. I've been pretty ill over the last couple of days, though, so it's hard to tell. Medium rare? No. Just rare. Medium rare if it's got a bone in it. That's how I like my steaks, typically. Rare if it's like a ribeye or a sirloin. Ribeyes being my favourite. Hi, Bod. Is there nothing new on the banner merchant right now? We know it's got bigger. But other than that, nothing new. Hi, Bod. Regarding the banner merchant, the store page now says nothing about the onboard shops. Do you know if it's been scrapped? No. Definitely got the onboard shop still. It's definitely a focus of the ship. I say definitely. 99%. And obviously they can change stuff that I'm not aware of. But it is planned to have onboard shops. And that is one of the major purposes of the ship. It's a mixture of a hauler and trade ship and shop. Have you seen Zylo's response to Virgil warning on Twitter? Feel free to link it to me, Silver Element. I've seen the one where it says it's fine to go after a player more than once, and they're pretty lenient towards what they consider griefing or excessive or harassment. I saw that one. Yeah, so keto is trying to be below 50 grams of carbs a day. Really, you want to be below 20 grams of carbs a day to be on keto properly. And you want to have incredibly low sugar. Obviously, sugar is carb, but sugar, because it raises your blood sugar levels, should be avoided. So you should have like under, 5 grams, I think, a day. I think it's 8, but try to keep it under 5 if you can. And space it out. So from what I've seen about keto seems to be. I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not a doctor, so I can only tell you what I've read and what I've looked at and what other people have said. Keto looks much less fatty and actually seems to have benefits, but I suppose all diets say that when they're talked about by the people that promote them. So I think keto seems pretty good. We'll see what happens. Every diet is a fad diet unless you have specific dietary requirements due to health issues. The exception being intermittent fasting, which many doctors recommend these days. Okay. Other plans for more rare items? They've talked about them a while ago, so yes. But we're not sure to what extent. You'll find rare items and components and things. I would expect them to be like Eve when it comes to components, that there are some super expensive rare components. One of the top guys in kill death is in the Talon this week. 251 to 1 kill death ratio. Okay. What's your opinion on Elite Dangerous Odyssey? Do you think this will get Star Citizen to pick up the pace in development? No, I don't think it will. I think that there's lots of space for more games like Elite Dangerous without taking anything away from Star Citizen. In fact, I only think it makes people hungrier for a space game like Star Citizen. Star Citizen is going to be many more years in development, and I think expanding the general player base of space games is going to be good for that, and it gives Star Citizen a lot of what works and what doesn't work information. I gave my sous vide to Zin because I didn't use it very much. Actually, sent it to her.
Your sous vide has got the best brand name.
What is the brand name for that?
The brand name is Well Quick.
Yeah, well, quick, mate. I get the
sous vide.
I get the cheapest things, but I research them before I buy them. So I get high reviews. But yes, so this guy's recommended that you sous vide steaks to make them perfect every time. You are correct. You are correct.
Amazing.
Although you can get a pretty good steak from reverse sear.
Yeah, but the thing is, you honestly, you cannot mess up a sous vide steak.
You can still, when you're finishing off the steak, if your pan is not hot enough, you can still ruin it. You can still not get the
Well, no, I don't
browning.
think you ruin it, but you might overcook it a bit. Is all.
That's ruining it. And you know I'm right.
Okay.
So Cameron cooked me and Sin and some other people some steaks, and it made Sin cry.
It was a Wagyu.
Ribeye, wasn't it?
It was a ribeye, yeah.
Ribeye, my favourite.
It made me cry. I was a bit drunk. But it was the most amazing steak I'd ever tasted. It wasn't sous vide either. He just pan fried it.
Yeah. But did he reverse it?
No, yeah, he did reverse it, didn't he?
Because I was helping reverse it. The meat looked so good. Like, he got it out.
Delicious.
I think it must have been like 300 quid's worth of meat as well for the 6 of us. For £50 steaks we had.
Cameron's like, so he basically got a ribeye joint, Wagyu ribeye joint, and then he came up to me. He's like, "How thick do you think the steaks should be?" And I'm like, "At least an inch and a half." Yeah,
inch and a half for good old. Oh my god!
It's one thing I hate about getting supermarket cut steak is it's always ridiculously thin. Also, quick question, Monkey.
Yeah.
That scrolling thing at the bottom left of your stream, you got a donation from Long Live Quebec.
But is that Quebec's name?
That's his Twitch ID. Yeah, that's his Twitch handle.
Have I?
Yeah.
I'll drop him a. Do what? Quebec
for like £29.70 something.
Oh
Or is it
shit,
dollars?
son! I didn't realise. I mean, I watch Quebec stuff because you got me into Quebec stuff.
Yeah.
And he has done some Star Citizen before, and I've turned up and helped them a little bit. But legend! I'll tweet him. I didn't realise it was him. I just assumed.
I assume it's him. Nobody else calls himself Long Live Quebec. I mean,
no one in the world.
Nobody. I couldn't imagine anybody else.
So there is a running joke that Zin isn't unable to imagine anything because she kept on saying, I am unable to imagine.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine. I don't know why I've put the current amount as $1. I don't know why I did that. So the current donation goal is the best meats for when we meet up, because we will be meeting up later this year, probably multiple times, and Cameron can cook us some more steaks.
Currently, we've got October booked.
Oh, so it's October.
The entirety of October.
No, so we do private lands. So we go to like Centre Parks or somewhere like an Airbnb and do our own private LAN party with just us, play load. It's mostly board games, but it's also some pretty stressful sessions of Overcooked, where Zin and DC will have arguments based on well, and everyone hates DC but loves him at the same time when he's piled like 1,000 pieces of cheese up or mushrooms. Because
you said you needed cheese. I don't need any more cheese.
At some point earlier I said, I need cheese to finish this order, and then DC will just continue that for the next 10 minutes unless you tell him otherwise. So
he's oblivious.
What?
No, don't. We can hear you. I can hear him. Be careful what you say. Be careful. Don't want DC to say scream some sort of racial epithet by accident. He would never. He would never. Don't worry. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
We do not mess up a Wagyu. Don't you worry. I mean,
No,
sous videing the Wagyu would have been best, but it was near perfectly done. It was 9.5 out of 10.
I think it was what's his name?
It's Australian Wagyu.
The sous vide guy.
Guga.
Yeah.
Foods.
It was
Sous
him.
vide everything.
It might have been somebody else's watch. But you actually cannot mess up a Wagyu.
What do you mean?
Like,
what do you mean? Can you be more specific?
I don't think it was him. I think it was somebody else. But basically, like, somebody had requested their Wagyu like well done, and because it is so fatty, it's still really nice and tasty and juicy.
Cameron, have you sent me meat? Because Cameron just sent me. Did you get a delivery today when we were talking about that? One second. I'm just going to check to see if I've had any deliveries. BRB. Zin, do you mind telling people what Cameron sent me in the past, or what he sent you in the past?
Yeah, so Cameron has this thing of sending us, I forgot what the word is, but like puns, basically. So we've got this friend called Kit, and obviously in Apex you get Phoenix kits, so he sent her a Phoenix, and now he's like, hey, if you got a Phoenix kit, as a joke. And then there was a time I was playing Apex with DC, and DC was like, can I have a gold backpack? So he sent us a fucking gold backpack. And he sent DC a fire engine, because DC said he wanted to buy a fire engine. And he sent Monkey, I can't remember what he sent me. Oh yeah, he sent him a selection of Cliff Richard pictures in a montage. So he has now sent Monkey dick pics. Oh, but he's done so much, and you got to really be careful. So I think it started off with...
Just for people that need to know this, Richard, in the UK at the very least, the nickname for that is Dick. Okay.
Yes.
Just he didn't send me Cliff Richard pictures and the other pictures. It was that was the pun. That was the pun. Let's make that clear.
It started off with adhesives, didn't it?
Oh my god! Okay,
aluminium foil.
Let me explain this. We were playing Fallout 76, and actually, me and Zin were quite enjoying it. Okay, and people were like, "Oh, it's a trash game." We were messing around. It was dumb. We didn't have to think about it, and we were like, "Oh, this is fun. Let's play it co-op." Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And occasionally, I would need things like I needed adhesive. Yeah, needed adhesive and glue. To get some stuff. So Cameron sent me 2 tea sieves, 2 tea strainers.
Loose leaf tea in, yeah.
And I got them, and I was like, why am I being sent this? Is someone random on the internet got my address? He's just testing it out. And later on, Cameron was like, "Did you get your package?" Okay, no. What? Like, you sent me these tea strainers. Yeah, but what is it? It's a tea strainer. Two tea strainers you've sent me. No, but think about it. He wanted me to say adhesive. Yeah? It's not, but he didn't send me adhesive. He sent me 2 tea strainers.
Yeah, because
okay?
he needed lots of adhesive.
Dumb. The dumb things. What else has he sent me? He sent me a didgeridoo.
Why did he send you a didgeridoo?
Something about blowing it out my ass or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember what he sent me.
He sent me a 1 penny coin, a 2020 1 penny coin, which is a P2020.
From Apex, that's a gun.
Again from Apex. He sent DC an alternator. What was it? Just the fan. Rotor. Alternator rotor. For a car we can't even use, because DC was like, I'm looking for an alternator.
But obviously we was talking about when we were playing Apex Legends.
You got to be careful what you say around Cameron.
He hasn't sent me my Ferraris yet, because every time Cameron sends you something around, you go, "Oh, I wish I had a Ferrari. Wish I had £1,000 just next to me." No, Cameron, my package has not arrived yet. Whatever it was, he seemed to imply that he sent me an actual birthday present. So I'm looking forward to that. Cameron's definitely sent me other random stuff. Like, you sent me tinfoil because I was looking for aluminium. Yeah, and other random stuff as well. I've got a big drawer of just crap from Cameron. Thanks, Cameron. Nice interview on Cobra's show. Appreciated. I enjoy being on other people's podcasts and stuff and just chatting. Do you think the Mustang Alpha will be available to use the cargo area for box missions as part of Cargo 2.0 improvements? So yes, I think that you'll be able to put at least cargo of some type in those boxes. Hopefully that will count. I've seen lots of theories around possible straight to flyable. One of them is small medium ships for outpost building. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I'd love to see that. I think it's a great thing. I don't think it's a priority for CIG. I'm going to send you a lamp post and half a doorknob. No, no. Never overcook steak. I agree. I agree.
I have this thing against DC's mum. Every time, like, oh my god. So we'll go out for a meal, and she'll be like, "Oh, I fancy a steak," and then they're like, "How would you like your steak?" And she's like, "Cremated." She will literally tell them she wants a cremated steak.
What a monster!
And I'm just like,
what
why
a monster.
Are you eating steak if this is how you want it?
I know. Treating that animal poorly even after death.
I know.
It was my job to make the cheese. Don't blame me because you guys were insufficient at using it and had surplus. Do one, you lazy ass cooks. Thanks, DC. Appreciate it. I'll give you £1,000 of duck. Done. I'll eat duck.
Rotisserie duck?
I'll do rotisserie ducks, yeah, on my rotisserie machine. Any word on the Caterpillar updates? No. No new words. Expect to hear more after we've got the Retaliator modular updates. Is there any news on custom bases or hubs? We know that Cloud Imperium are working towards a lot of this stuff at the moment, and they're doing lots of customizations for hubs and stuff, even as part of the new points of interest, it seems, for the colonial outposts. We'll have to see exactly what that form that takes in the future. Can you send me on Discord? I have to stop pretty soon because I have got quite a bad stomach. Oh, Scorcher, you I'm happy to accept ships from you for giveaways on my channel just to give to people, but I feel weird and guilty for it. I mean, if you want to give stuff away to the community on my channel, I'm not going to stop you, but make sure that you can sort of, like, you don't mind, and we could probably do it for something, like, we'll think of a charity or something to do it for if we do it, or to promote your orc or something, something that you get something back. I do feel weird though, but appreciate it. Like, genuinely appreciate it. I mean, the channel has grown because of people being generous, or sharing, watching, donating, whatever. So I'm not going to be overly sort of like about it, and I will happily accept it. But let's make sure that we're doing it for a good cause as well, beyond just if it's just giving me promotion for the sake of it. I feel a bit guilty for that. Do you know what I mean? So if we're giving it back to the community in some way that's genuinely good, or doing it for a charity, or we're doing something like that, great. We think of something. I very much appreciate it. I've got $930 in store credit I don't know what to do with. You monster. But there'll be ships and stuff in the future. Just thank you. I appreciate at the very least the offer. We'll talk in the future. All of this talk of steak, isn't mad cow disease no longer a thing over there? It was pretty much wiped out as far as I'm aware. I remember it being a big thing when I was young. That's because they were feeding.
When you were young?
Well, younger.
Younger.
Young. Wasn't I like? I would have been in my teens, wouldn't I? Mad cow disease. 13.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm sure you'd have been older than that.
Would I have been?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm getting all my fucking ages mixed up.
It's like 20, 25. It's 20 to 25 years ago, then. 1986.
What? No, it was. No, there was another one.
The outbreak that I would have remembered was in the 90s. Between 93 and 96. Yeah, don't feed cows cow brains. I think that was the. Is the caves fun? I know you're in India. I can't talk about the specifics of it, but obviously we've talked about the new cave missions before. There are new cave missions. There are new caves in 3.13. I think they should add some more interesting gameplay to the game. Where is 3.13? CIG obviously wanted to try and get it first wave PTU by the end of last week, and they were unable to. But they're planning to get it hopefully at some point this week. In a week or so is what they said on Monday. So hopefully by the end of the week, first wave PTU. Will the Nomad be available within any in-game ship stores? I would expect it in 3.13. What did you name your ship or ships? I'm unwilling to share the names of my ships yet. I've got one of my reclaimers is called Recycle. Beyond that, all of the names I have, I do not want to share. You will see them very soon. There's a couple that I don't have yet that I want. When's the bathroom gameplay incoming? Nice. So they are actually, I believe, expanding the player status system to include hygiene as a thing, and it might be something that NPCs comment on your hygiene levels, or it affects their affinity with you and stuff like that. And I believe that showering and using the toilet will probably lower your hygiene, increase your hygiene, whatever way you see that. But I suspect you can only do it every so often. Rather than, I had a shower, but I don't have a shower on my ship. I used the toilet 23 times to reduce my hygiene. Right, I will BRB. Hi. How's it going? I was testing the new bathroom function in Star Citizen to make sure it was accurate. So yeah, the progression in Star Citizen is going to be your assets, your finances, what ships you have, what gear you have, your skill at something, literally how good you've got at it rather than any form of XP, and the reputation system. Those are the ways you track progress. How do you reserve the name for your ships? So for the 6 ships that have the ability to reserve names, the 600i, the 890 Jump, the Reclaimer, the Carrack, the Mercury Star Runner, and the Reclaimer. Did I say the Reclaimer twice? Whatever. You can go to the RSI website, and as long as you have one of those ships, you should be able to, in the hangar there, reserve your name.
The Reclaimer, the Reclaimer, the Reclaimer, the Reclaimer, the Reclaimer, or the Reclaimer.
I hate you. Do you have a Reclaimers in?
No. Don't want one.
You got a question regarding PvP on Discord? No worries. Can't see your ask board. In regards to PvP, Eve has a rapid response fleet when people are attacked in lawful space. Yes, and that response drops off with security zones. Yes. What do you think about similar stuff for Star Citizen? Yes, so with an extent, yes. So if you're in a secure system, high security system, I do want rapid response fleets, and I also want lots of areas which are pretty safe that have lots of defenses that are pretty good. And I will also want blockades and stuff at those gates. So yes, some of the way that Eve does that, maybe not as explosively just insta-death as Eve is pretty much. I appreciate the love. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you stars, thank you. Trash Panda is now taken, nice. Is there a best spot for Quantanium mining? I was doing most of my Quantanium mining over Microtech for ages, but I have not done Quantanium mining in 3.12.1 actually. Oh, are you Elf Wizard of Chaos actually farms ducks and geese and chickens in real life? Nice. As long as you don't get attached to them, I suppose they're delicious. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you'd be able to ship them over to the UK. So I don't know if ship names for all future release ships will just instantly have the ability to customize name. They said it was for straight to flyable ships, so ships that are on the roadmap but not straight to flyable that become flyable during a patch. That's slightly different, if you see what I mean. Is there any truth to the rumor that they're going to channel miners who are using asteroid belts into zones or easy to find quantum travel lanes? I have not heard that rumor. What is the Channel, jump point. What? I'm confused. Channel? Heat maps sound like a good idea for high traffic areas. Yes, potentially. I want as much metrics as possible. What's your opinion about pad spawn campers and pad rammers? So, pad spawn camping around Grimhex, a bounty hunter that's trying to get to you in Grimhex, that is a grey area. Pad ramming is almost entirely always bad. I can't think of a reason why it would be acceptable. And if someone does it a lot, it needs to be handled by in-game systems to basically fuck over that person without getting them like a warning or whatever. And it just puts them in prison for a long time. They're paying for the damage to the other person's ship. There's no point in doing it. It just damages you. It goes, lol. Oh no, that was bad. And now I'm in prison. Now I've got to pay huge fees. And that person doesn't lose anything that got rammed. Yeah, I think they're pretty trash for the most part, pad rammers. I think they know they are. They know that it's low-hanging fruit to be borderline griefing. Pad spawn camping, I mean, in some situations that is just shitty behaviour as well. Not all the time, because some people want to lock down stations and things, and now you can fight in armistice zones. Yeah, it's a little bit different. That's a lot more legitimate gameplay now. When do you think Theatres of War will be released? So, you'll see more tests for the next couple of quarters, and I actually think we'll start to see it open up to some other people that aren't Evocati, probably with the 3.14 cycle. Do you think we could see ground camper vehicles in Star Citizen, like sandcrawlers and things? I think you might. I don't think we'll have huge ground vehicles. Bases, yes. Tanks and things, yes. And more ground vehicles, yes. But not giant sandcrawler ones. Just watch a morphologist video. This is probably the Salty Mike one, where he was talking about it. About having a heat map for essentially PvP activity. Yeah, I think that's a genuinely good idea. That's the sort of thing they said they want to have in Star Citizen as well. It probably will get our own sprays and decals and things like that in the future. Always getting rammed, frustrating as a new player trying to learn. Yes, okay, Fly Medic. I haven't been pad rammed much. So, yeah, pad ramming and previously, definitely, spawn camping was really, really shitty behaviour. But spawn camping not as bad now. Obviously, in certain places it is where there's not really much in the way of defences. Wasn't 3.13 supposed to come out in March? Yeah, so that was the target. It looks like it's probably going to be beginning, well, by mid-April now. They often have like a week or two delay. It's not genuinely not a big deal. Hey BG, thinking scanning in No Man's Sky is very rudimentary. Science gameplay, using this as a base, do you think gameplay in would you like this gameplay in Star Citizen? So you want lots of gameplay that touches on the science gameplay loop and exploration gameplay loop, from crafting to scanning aliens, to finding stuff, to manufacturing of the drugs, to scanning down points of interest. There's a huge amount. Is it pre-recorded or autopiloting? So this is the Squadron 42 vertical slice from 2018. Well, so this should be looking significantly better. Well, Squadron 42 should be looking a lot better than this now. With the introduction of bombs and space mines in Q3, is there any word when the Nautilus could be coming? Nope. I do know that they were working on those mines and stuff well before the Nautilus is going to come in game. I don't think it's going to be a this year thing. But how are the mines and things going to work? Well, some of the mines could already be deployed around areas, or it could be also that maybe the Hercules A2 drops mines. Maybe there's a small mine laying ship that they've got planned. Right. Any other quick questions before I dash off? So I'm hoping for 3.13's first wave PTU to go live this week. Obviously, we were waiting for it end of last week, but that did not materialize. There are blockers or whatever reasons it hasn't gone to first wave yet. This week is pretty chill for content until 3.13 goes live. We do have a hot takes video and some of the more controversial topics video coming out later today that me and Sin have discussed. About Star Citizen, about PvP and all that sort of jazz. Yeah, looking forward to 3.13. That's probably the most exciting thing that's happening in the short term. Right. Let's go and see who else is streaming. Who else is online at the moment? I will drop you over to SMB, Super Mac Brothers. He's a good chap. I love his face. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching me today. And thanks very much for talking to me and Zin and answering our questions, asking us questions, answering our questions. Yeah, I appreciate you all turning up and talking and saying hello and all the subs. Very much appreciated.
We appreciate you.
We do appreciate you. Sin will send pictures of her chair, some sort of weird only chairs website. Yeah. But I'll get those on social media. There's going to be some stuff for our YouTube channel subscribers, the people that click the join button, basically the people that pay money to us each week. We've got some content coming up with that, potentially showing off some eco stuff, potentially us talking about what's coming up, and probably some stuff of us playing Savage Planet and Journey to Savage Planet, whatever it's called, co-op, and just chatting while we're playing that. That's obviously going to go out to our Patreons as well.